Hi, my name is Betsy, and I want to start to talk to you today about speech and language development. And the first thing we want to focus on are the foundational skills before talking. This is what we want to see with typically able children before we can really begin to look at normal or typical speech development. So, the first one is we want to see that babies and young children are responding to events in the environment. So if you're clapping, they're looking. If music is playing, they're looking to see where that music is coming from. Or if they hear a big crash, if blocks fall down, they're startled and they respond to that. So babies, very young children should be responding to the environment, the noises, or the events that are happening around them. And we want to look to make sure that that's happening. Number two is we want to make sure your young child is responding to people. I know a lot of times I will see a young child in a cart in Wegmans in front of me, and I will engage with them, smile, wave, and they will look and respond back to me. You want to make sure that your baby, even a young infant, is responding to you. When my daughter was born, the minute she was born, she was crying, and I said, "What's wrong, baby?" And she literally turned and looked at me. Day one of life. So you want to make sure that your baby is responding to the people around them. Number three, you want your child to be developing an attention span. And with a baby, they may take an object and hold it in their hand and look at it, maybe put it to their mouth. With an older child, they might be pouring water in the sink, but you're seeing that attention span develop. Next, you want to see a joint attention so that you're doing things back and forth with your child, or you're sharing an experience that continues and that attention span grows. So, again, the example of a child in a cart in front of me at Wegmans, where they're looking at me, I can see that they see me, and so I say, "Hi, baby." And they respond, and maybe they start to wave too, even if it's backwards. And it's that joint experience and attention that you're beginning to see develop and then continue to grow. Next, you want to see that your child is playing with toys and playing in a meaningful way. So if they have something, whether it's a car or a little doll, and you see them playing with it the right way, the way that a toy was intended to be played with, not taking it and banging it, or with a car, just spinning the wheels, but making it go. So you want to pay attention to your child's play and ensure that it is developing appropriately, naturally, and typically. You also want to begin to see that children are understanding and using early gestures. And with my twins, the big one was when they would put their hands up, which meant pick me up, pick me up. I didn't have enough hands for all my children, but I knew exactly what they wanted. The hands went up, and that meant pick me up, up, up. And that even came before the up, up word. They also, you want to see that they're understanding. If you're saying, "Come, come," that they're understanding early gestures that you're using and that they're beginning to use them as well. You also want to see that your young child, your babies, are understanding early words and following simple directions. For my boys, it was go get your shoes. The minute I said go get your shoes, even as toddlers, they would go and get their shoes and bring them over. Um, no stops. When you say no, they look and they understand that they're to stop. So you want to see that your young child is understanding words, following simple directions. We want to see babies and young children vocalizing da da da, ma, ba ba ba, and then begin to do that with intent. So if they want their bottle, ba 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 ba, that's with intent. Or the dog walks through the room, and every time that doggy walks through the room, you hear a vocalization that is their word for dog, ga, 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 or whatever that happens to be. So you're paying attention to, is your baby vocalizing, and is it starting to be with intent? Then we want to see your child is imitating your actions, gestures, and words. Again, a big first one is that bye-bye, say bye-bye, and you'll see an infant or young child put their hand up and start to make that bye-bye. Or if I go, peekaboo, baby, peekaboo, you'll see the child trying to start to imitate those gestures, starting to talk the way that you're talking and imitate those sounds and those words. You also want to see that your child is initiating interactions with people. Babies and young children should want to spend time with you and engage in interactions. They should look to you and look to your face. And if you are engaged with them and making pleasant faces, smiling or singing, baby, come on, baby, let's sing, that they are engaged in that and looking for that, initiating those experiences. If you have a baby or a young child who is not wanting to do that, that's something that should raise some red flags for you. And your intuitions, your feelings about how your baby is developing are very important and they're key. And if you're having some worries, if you're thinking things aren't developing as they should, then that's the time to get more information, seek some help and assistance with a friend, a teacher, a pediatrician, ask for an evaluation for your child. And finally, the last developmental foundation of the 11 that we've talked about today is beginning that turn taking. And you'll see that sometimes even with very young children, where you give a kiss and then they give a sloppy kiss, and then you give a kiss and then they give a sloppy kiss, and back and forth your child will go. These are the developing scaffoldings that we need to see before your child really begins to expand and build their talking and their speech and language skills. We're going to continue with more on this subject, but thanks for joining us this morning.